Hi everybody! It's time to take a look at the movies that will be released in July. Before we move on to our video, do not forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel. Sound of Freedom is an upcoming American biographical drama film directed by Alejandro Monteverdi and starring Jim Caviezel, Mira Sorvino, Kurt Fuller, and Bill Camp. Sound of Freedom, based on the incredible true story, shines a light on even the darkest of places. After rescuing a young boy from ruthless child traffickers, a federal agent learns the boy's sister is still captive and decides to embark on a dangerous mission to save her. With time running out, he quits his job and journeys deep into the Colombian jungle, putting his life on the line to free her from a fate worse than death. In Insidious The Red Door, the horror franchise's original cast returns for the final chapter of the Lambert family's terrifying saga. Insidious The Red Door is an upcoming American supernatural horror film directed by Patrick Wilson and his directorial debut from a screenplay by Scott Teems and story by Lee Wunnell.
To be a good dad.
It is a direct sequel to Insidious 2010 and Insidious Chapter 2 2013, and the fifth installment in the Insidious franchise. To put their demons to rest once and for all, Josh, Patrick Wilson, and a college-age Dalton, Ty Simpkins, must go deeper into the further than ever before, facing their family's dark past and a host of new and more horrifying terrors that lurk behind the Red Door. The movie is set to be released in July 2023.
But I don't even remember being sick.
Joyride
By the way,
follows four Asian American friends as they bond and discover the truth of what it means to know and love who you are, while they travel through Asia in search of one of their birth mothers.
hi. So nice to see an American. What do you do for work?
Ethan Hunt's story is far from over. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is nearly here, taking Hunt and his badass team on yet another world-saving adventure. Directed by Christopher McQuarrie and starring Tom Cruise as the unparalleled international spy Ethan Hunt, the upcoming film is set to push the limits of all the new and returning characters across the board. In Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Ethan Hunt and his IMF team embark on their most dangerous mission yet, to track down a terrifying new weapon that threatens all of humanity before it falls into the wrong hands. With control of the future and the fate of the world at stake, and dark forces from Ethan's past closing in, a deadly race around the globe begins. Confronted by a mysterious, all-powerful enemy, Ethan is forced to consider that nothing can matter more than his mission, not even the lives of those he cares about most. Theater Camp. As summer rolls around again, kids are gathering from all over to attend Adirondack CTS, a scrappy theater camp in upstate New York that's a haven for budding performers. After its indomitable founder Joan falls into a coma, her clueless crypto bro son Troy is tasked with keeping the thespian paradise running. With financial ruin looming, Troy must join forces with Amos, Rebecca Diane, and their band of eccentric teachers to come up with a solution before the curtain rises on opening night. The Flood. A horde of giant hungry alligators is unleashed on a group of in-transit prisoners and their guards after a massive hurricane floods Louisiana. Barbie. To live in Barbie land is to be a perfect being in a perfect place.
To the real world.
Unless you have a full-on existential crisis.
No.
Or you're a Ken.
Security.
Blockbuster behemoth Christopher Nolan is back with his most challenging project yet, Oppenheimer. Based on American Prometheus, a biography of J. Robert Oppenheimer by Kai Bird and Martin J. Sherwin, Nolan's film charts the theoretical physicist's role in the Manhattan Project. Between 1942 and 1946, during the Second World War, the U.S. led a research and development program to produce the first nuclear weapons. The project's foundations were initially formed by President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1939 in response to fears that scientists working for Adolf Hitler were working on a nuclear weapon of their own. A team composed of scientists and military officials were tasked with investigating uranium's potential as a weapon. This was later named the Office of Scientific Research and Development in 1941. They cloned Tyrone, 2023, a pulpy sci-fi mystery caper in which an unlikely trio investigates a series of eerie events, alerting them to a nefarious conspiracy lurking directly beneath their hood. Fontaine, a neighborhood drug dealer, is shot dead by rival Isaac and then is very shocked to wake up in his bed the next morning unharmed. He and Slick Charles and Yo-Yo begin looking into the incident, and their search eventually leads them to a vast underground complex where a government-backed lab is performing experiments on the local black population. Realizing that he is an artificial clone controlled by Nixon, Fontaine initially feels despair, but decides he needs to stand up to these white institutional overlords for the sake of his neighborhood. Cobweb, which is an upcoming American horror movie directed by Samuel Bowden in his feature directorial debut. It stars Woody Norman, Anthony Starr, Lizzie Kaplan, and Cleopatra Coleman. The movie is set for a release date on Friday, July 21st, 2023. 8-year-old Peter is plagued by a mysterious, constant tap from inside his bedroom wall, a tapping that his parents insist is all in his imagination. As Peter's fear intensifies, he believes that his parents could be hiding a terrible, dangerous secret and questions their trust. And for a child, what could be more frightening than that? Haunted Mansion 2023 Inch. It is an upcoming American supernatural horror comedy film directed by Justin Simeon from a screenplay by Katie Dippold. The film stars Lakeith Stanfield, Tiffany Haddish, Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito. A single mom named Gabby hires a tour guide, a psychic, a priest, and a historian to help exorcise her newly bought mansion after discovering it is inhabited by ghosts. Talk to me. When a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand, they become hooked on a new thrill until one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces.